What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Vashti Denise, bringing to you all things TV and film. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let's get right into this past week of Beyond the Gates. Jacob really struggled this past week with everything that was going on. The police department gave him an award ceremony that was on the hush, just family and close friends, to show their appreciation towards the work that he's actually done. Of course, they couldn't do it publicly because he does plan on still doing some undercover work in the future. And this case isn't fully closed, but they wanted to show their appreciation to Jacob. And it was definitely warranted because he risked his life for that case and put in a lot of work, but Jacob didn't see it that way. Unfortunately, all he could think about was his best friend that was not there. He is in full grief mode and in survivor's remorse mode when it comes to Derek. It's so sad because he really put in so much work with this case, but everything is overshadowed to him because of Derek's death. And it seems that he does blame himself in a way. And his only way to get revenge for Derek is by making sure that everyone involved is behind bars. So although everyone is satisfied with having Leah locked up, having Ren taken care of, and whoever else, the associates that he was working with, Jacob is not satisfied at all until he takes the impaler down. He's definitely having a lot of PTSD, a lot of memories where he's hearing gunshots. He told Naomi that he'll close his eyes and immediately see Derek laying in a pool of blood. It's just really sad that he's dealing with such grief and guilt. I really do hope that he gets some real help before he has a serious meltdown because stuff like this never ends well. The Hawthorns were present and in full effect when it came to celebrating Jacob. Okay, Jacob wasn't feeling it, but Chief Hawthorne was like, I don't care. You've been begging for my approval and my declaration of being proud of you since the very beginning, since you became a police officer. So here I am to tell you I am proud of you and we are honoring you. Darlene showed another side of her motherhood. Now, she has three boys. Of course, only two are listed here because we've only met two so far. We're supposed to meet Luke, hopefully soon, who is the brother. I'm not sure if Luke is the oldest or if Jacob is the oldest. I'm pretty sure it's Luke that's the oldest. So it'll be nice to meet him. Can we do that soon? Thank you. Anyway, Darlene is shown to be a true boy mom. Okay, to the point where no one is ever good enough for her sons, and she's going to make that known. She definitely had some run ins with Eva at the party, right? Isaiah decided to tell Darlene that he would not come to the party if he couldn't bring Eva. And that goes for any other family events. They are now officially attached and she will be at every family event moving forward. Darlene ain't like that. Okay. Darlene still thinks that Eva is very temporary and hopes that she is because she doesn't like Leslie. And she believes that the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Okay. Now, is she fully wrong in this understanding? No. No. Because we already know how horrible Leslie acts in public. And did she disappoint this time around? Of course not. Of course, she still showed up to the party, even though Eva asked her not to. She still showed up to the party, still showed her behind, just ridiculous. But in the midst of it all, Darlene found a way to apologize to Eva and end on common ground. It was even interesting to see the moment between Naomi and Eva when Darlene was making it seem like Eva could do no right. And Naomi came up to her and said, girl, don't worry. She just got off me. And her and Jacob are married. So that definitely means that Darlene could care less who's on the other side of that. No woman is good enough for any of her boys. Eva has a whole new life. And although Leslie feels left out and sad about it, she has no one to blame but herself. She pushed so hard for Eva to come to Fairmount Crest, find her father, and be accepted by her family. So, how could she be upset when all of that actually happens? And now she has more people to tend to on her plate. She's developed a relationship with Ted. She has her relationship with Isaiah. She's working with Ted at the at the hospital. She's talking, she has friends somewhat. Shanice. She has Shanice. Now that Derek is dead, they can relate on other levels. And Shanice is potentially her stepmother, so I can see that relationship going well. But at the end of the day, she's got other stuff to do. And Leslie is feeling some type of way because she thought that she would have a front row seat to everything. Well, you could have if you would have played your cards correctly. Instead of coming in like a wrecking ball and blowing up everybody's lives, and then terrorizing everyone afterwards. The way that she makes it seem, it's like, oh, Eva's just leaving me out. No, Eva is embarrassed and can't bring you anywhere because you don't know how to act. And of course, Eva was proven correct once again that she can't take her anywhere after she shows up to the police station uninvited for Jacob's celebration. She comes in there with donuts, talking about she's bringing sweets for her sweets. Oh, and some donuts for Malone. Ridiculous. Okay. And nobody asked her to be there. She just comes in there elbowing her way, making problems. And Eva is mortified. Okay. Eva just wants Darlene to like her. She just wants the family to like her. She just wants to be accepted. She's waited her whole life to be a part of another family. And now that she is, Leslie is manipulating her way out of it. It's so annoying. And I mean, yes, that's her mother. So she's always going to want to have her around. But Eva is starting to see I have to have a life outside of Leslie. And Leslie better get it together before she fully closes that door. Because the way that Eva is in love with Isaiah, it seems like she'll go through almost anything to make sure that she's accepted by his family, including cutting off Leslie. So we'll see how this goes. But she's gonna have to let up on the reins, especially now that Eva is working for the clinic and took Derek's spot. Like, cut her some slack. She's trying. The way that Leslie showed her butt at that police station was just completely unacceptable and uncalled for. Once again, this is why Eva never wants to take her anywhere. All she had to do was come in there and be quiet. All she had to say was, oh, I'm here to support my daughter. And I wanted to be a part of the family process since my daughter is about to be part of the family. Fine. Even if she wanted to say, oh, I'm not even here for that. I'm here for Malone. She could have went to Malone's desk and just been quiet. But no, she had to make a fuss every chance she got. She had to insult Darlene's cake, her famous cake that everyone loves. She had to insult that. She had to threaten her and say, oh, are you still coming at my daughter? I would hate to have to whoop your butt. Girl, can you have some class? Can you have some coof? I thought you wanted to stay in Fairmont Crest to be part of, upscale society. Once again, your money does not give you manners because she has none. Okay. At least Darlene had the understanding that this is not the place nor the time. Okay. She had her little digs at Eva when she asked Eva to take that family photo so she wouldn't be in it. And then Darlene went to delete the photo, and Isaiah was like, hey, Mom, send me the photo with Eva in it. Because he's just so smitten with Eva. It's wild. And obviously, she just wants to make sure that she still has a relationship with her sons, which is completely understandable. So she swallowed her pride and she apologized to Eva, as she should, because calling her, the devil spawn was pretty harsh, although not that far off because we are talking about Leslie here. But at the end of the day, she apologized. She came on her best behavior. And of course, Leslie had to show that that is not an option for her. Now, these two, I got a bone to pick with both of them. Okay. Let's start with Ashley. Girl, you were so over Derek before he was even able to get out of that wheelchair. And yet now you're spiraling saying that he was such a good guy. He was a hero. He didn't deserve, I mean, no, he didn't deserve the way that he got taken out. But at the end of the day, that doesn't change all of his actions beforehand. Even the fact that he wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place shows that he's always put his neck out when it was unnecessary. He was always in a place that he was not needed. Now, granted, if he wasn't there, yes, we would be sad because Jacob definitely would have been hurt, if not killed himself from that bullet. But that's neither here nor there. Derek was not supposed to be there, period. So her having this whole, oh, I should have paid attention. I may have lost a man, the only man that really loves me. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Pushing away Grayson, making it seem like he's the one that pulled the trigger. She's just so overly dramatic and annoying. It just really, ugh. And then we have to go to my bone with Naomi, because why would you let her stand in your face and say that Derek is the hero? And if it wasn't for him, then Jacob would be gone. Let me read verbatim what she said, because I had to write it down. Ashley literally said, "How dare you judge a dead man? Derek died a hero, and he did it trying to save your husband's life." Excuse me? And you know what Naomi did in response? She segued into how Ashley shouldn't feel a certain type of way towards Grayson. Can we stop? Can we make a pit stop at what she just said about Jacob? The main person that should not be guilty in this whole situation? Naomi, can you stand up for your man? Like, I was just so upset that she had nothing to say about how Ashley just belittled Jacob. And it shows that she really does believe that, because it brushed off on Derek's dad when she talked to Derek's dad last week. And of course, Jacob still hasn't brought that up because it's still brewing in him. But it's just so annoying that Naomi never clocks Ashley on the mess that she says. She should not have been that comfortable to say that out of her mouth. Naomi, why do you give Ashley such leeway? It would have been curtains for me with Ashley. I would have sat her down and told her, don't you ever talk about my husband in that manner. Now, we've always had the basics of Bill and Haley's love story. Haley, aka Val, right? But we got an in-depth look into their origin story this past week, and it was quite eye-opening. Okay, first of all, Val came to Fairmont Crest to get Joseph Armstrong, which is all she knew. All she knew was that he was a rich man that knew how to cook and had some cooking videos on YouTube, which is quite interesting. We're going to have to get back into that, because I didn't think that Joey would be on social media at all. So that was quite interesting that he has cooking videos on YouTube. But she came for Joey. She meets up with her cousin Randy, and Randy tells her, "Oh no, you don't need to come for Joey. He'll see right through you. This is your target." And he shows Bill. He gives her the full rundown how Bill is egotistical and narcissistic and will do anything to stroke his ego, how he's married to Danny and Danny is always gone managing Chelsea's career, so she's never around, how they have an older daughter, Naomi, who is a do-gooder, his words, a do-gooder, and an easy target because she's always looking for a friend and she's always looking to help someone. So Randy gave her the whole run through of what to do and who to do it with to get to Bill. He even gave her the ID, the new ID that named her Haley. She was still Val when she came to Fairmont Crest. It was Randy who named her Haley. Wow. Wow. And then we get to see all of the in-depth situations, how she befriends Naomi. And I mean, she does it quite well. She runs into her after a Pilates class. Naomi got her guard down. She's young. She just married Jacob, Well, I don't know if she just married Jacob, but she's married, and she's just gullible. You could tell from her and Naomi's conversation that Naomi is just so nice and understanding of people. And I don't know where she got it from because I mean, Bill is supposed to be a shark. So where does she get this naivety from? Well, no, she did get it from Bill because she's still running game on Bill. So Haley's still running game on Bill. So yeah, Naomi definitely had to get her naivete from Bill. I don't think Danny is that naive. I just think that she was distracted at that time working with Chelsea, making sure her career was on 10. So, yeah, she befriended Naomi and it went downhill. Now, even though Haley befriended Naomi, it really was Danny that pushed her straight into Bill's arms. At first, I didn't understand why Danny felt so angry with Haley in that situation. Now I understand. Haley literally was embedded into the family, okay? Danny invites her to a family dinner at Fairmont Crest. Just being a mom, right? You're my oldest best friend. Come to dinner. We're just going to have dinner. Bill is already side eyeing Haley. They're already playing eye contact footsies right at the table. And so then, Danny brings up the fact that Caroline is still looking for someone to replace one of the workers at Bill's firm, one of the assistants, not somebody too high up. Bill is like, yeah, we're still looking for someone. Danny straight up says, well, you should hire Haley. Why not Haley? You don't even know this girl. None of them knew her. And they really all just opened up their heart and their homes to her. And granted, that does show that they're good people and they were trying to embrace her, But they all had an elitist mindset, honestly, when it comes to Haley, because nobody thought to really dig into her past. All she had to say was, oh, well, she did tell Danny that her father left her and her mother alone and her mother drank herself into an early grave. So that does warrant sympathy. Like, oh, she doesn't have parents. Let me be a parent towards her. Child. That's why Danny was feeling all of that guilt and feeling stupid because she really did push Haley into being around Bill in that area. And once they got Haley hired at the law firm, it was a done deal. Now she has access to Bill in his office by himself at night. Of course, she's waiting, like, oh, I'm just going to work late. I'm a hard worker. No, you're waiting to get Bill alone. And they end up having a drink together and getting frisky. And we're hearing her tell Randy about how easy it was to infiltrate the family. And we're seeing, yeah, they were open arms when it came to her. So the betrayal definitely was real. Now, we thought Bill and Haley's wedding was the height of crazy. Oh, no, baby boy, no, baby girl. How about when they got caught? They got caught. Haley is all up in Bill and Danny's room in their house, naked, okay, in her birthday suit with just Bill's big button-up t-shirt on and an untied tie around her neck. Why? You know why. And Bill is packing his bags, telling her, oh yeah, I'm going to tell Danny that I left her after I move out. It's just easier that way. What a cop out. What a cop out. Bill was literally going to leave in the middle of the night while Danny was out of town with Chelsea on a job, just for Danny to come back to an empty house and him to what? Tell her over the phone that it's over? Just janky, right? But he didn't get the chance to be that sneaky. Oh no, because Danny and Chelsea's flight were canceled. So they ended up coming back home. Unfortunately, it was Chelsea that walked in on Bill and Haley in that room about to get it on. And she was shook, okay? She tried real hard to get Danny out of there to not see it, but Danny was like, oh no, I'm going full throttle. She went straight in on Bill. Like, what are you doing? This is family, right? They both refer to Haley as family. This is family. How could you do this? She's another Naomi. How could you do this? Bill straight up tells Danny, I'm done with you. I'm in love with her. I'm going to marry her. I'm going to divorce you and marry her. Go get in the car, Haley, and wait for me. Danny is shook. I mean, Chelsea literally said you can see the breath leave her body, and you could. I mean, Danny was distraught. That completely explained how she got to the mindset she had at the wedding when it was very much like, nah, this ain't going down. Danny was having her own grief and memory with Andre while all of this is going on. Everybody's reminiscing in their own places. And Danny definitely tells Andre that she had that conversation with Bill multiple times when she went to Bill before the wedding and said, hey, choose me, come back to the family, because he's been cheating multiple times, right? But of course, Bill was so stuck on Haley that it wasn't like every other time. And he was like, nope, I'm staying with Haley. Oh, poor Danny was devastated. Now, as Bill is reminiscing with Caroline about the whole situation, he tells Caroline that it wasn't love at first sight, but he knew that the moment he looked at Haley, he was in trouble. And he eventually made the decision to choose her over his family. Now, the joke is definitely on him because she's trying to get him in an early grave as soon as possible. It's just really eye opening that Bill has literally blown up his life, gone to bat with everybody in his law firm in Fairmont Crest, everyone for Haley, just for it to be Val who's trying to get him up out of here. Wow. Karma is real, ain't it? Karma is so real. And it's going to come for both of them. Because Haley was so messed up the way that she ran over Naomi. I mean, seriously, the way that she went to Bill and just spilled everything that Naomi said about Bill and Danny's marriage was disgusting. Okay, just nasty. And there Bill is just eating it up, right? Because he's like, oh, great. She already has a bad view of Danny. So it shouldn't be hard to get her to cheat with me. Because she already don't like Danny. Ain't that about a blimp? Ain't that about a blimp? So I understand why Naomi is completely over her too. Because there's no way you were going to use me against my parents to break up their marriage. How disgusting. So yeah, we finally have seen exactly what happened with Val from the moment she got to Fairmont Crest. And hopefully that means we get to see her leave soon. Okay. Hopefully that means that their storyline is about to come to a point to where we're able to fully reveal who Val is to Bill and we can move forward because I'm tired. Okay. I mean, him and his elephant health is ridiculous. She keep giving him all them drops. And of course she's over there celebrating with Randy, talking about she put a ring on him to track his sleep. Oh, Bill, you are just so gullible and dumb. She put a ring on him and she sees that his numbers are declining. So that means that the drops are working again. And his hand has been shaking lately and he just chalked it up to stress. Whatever. So we're going to see something. We're going to see something happening soon. I definitely don't think it's going to be too soon because they're about to handle everything with Martin and his campaign. But this is coming to a close very soon. And it couldn't happen soon enough. All right. I'm sick of Val. The only way I want to hear about Val is us talking about where in the world is Lynette. I mean, what did they do to her? We're still asking where is Lynette Wise, and so is Kat. It's quite interesting that they're about to take this storyline, right? We see Kat in Uptown, and she's listening to a true crime podcast, which is very much on brand with her because we know how she gets all entangled in Tomas's work, and she was entangled in the law enforcement when it came to Leslie in the beginning of last season. So we know that she's interested in the true crime situations, right? Smitty comes in to talk to her and she tells Smitty that she's always been thinking about starting her own true crime podcast. And he says, okay, well, what would be the premise of your, podcast? What case would you be following? She says the disappearance of Lynette Wise. Ooh. Now, of course, in her Delulu self, she calls herself an amateur detective. Girl, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, we're not going to do that. You can maybe dabble into journalism, and go that route. But if you're going to be a detective, you got to go through the whole process, okay? You need to go through the academy and everything. And we know she ain't getting dirty for nobody. So that's not going to be the route. But I do like this storyline of her having a true crime podcast. And in the process of doing that, she finds out what happened to Lynette. Now she puts out to Smitty that he could be on it too, because obviously he knows something with Lynette after dealing with her case when he was talking to Tomas and everything. And he straight up is like, oh no, I can't, I'm a journalist. I can't give up my information, da da da, whatever. I do think that he'll eventually end up being part of it somehow. But at the end of the day, amateur detective Cat is on the case. I'm for real. I do think that she will make some serious leeway in finding where Lynette is. And I hope so. She's been gone for too long. And I don't think Randy is that smart or that gangsta to really unalive her, So she's somewhere. She's somewhere. And if anybody gonna find her, it's Cat. I believe in our girl. Smitty has been working nonstop on his story since the final bust of Leah and everybody in the plasma ring, right? And his boss thinks that the story is so hot that they want to do a 5-part series on it because he has so much information to talk about, right? Jacob decides to go to Smitty and says, hey, I need your help to still find out who the impaler is. He suggests that Smitty should fabricate his story just to kind of smoke out the impaler, right? He believes that the impaler is egotistical and narcissistic. So if Smitty puts something in his article to say that the impaler is incompetent or giving the credit to somebody else, then that might smoke him out or her to come out and say, no, it was me that did it. I'm the one, to get like the glory. So I thought that was a pretty good idea. Of course, Smitty's like, no, he's not trying to mess with the integrity of his story. But his alternative option was for him to put something in the public to say, hey, we're still looking for this impaler. So if you have any information on where the ring is, any locations, if you've seen someone, let us know. So then the police can map out the DC area, the DMV area, to pinpoint everywhere that people have seen the impaler or anyone in the blood plasma ring so that they can kind of find out where the impaler is hiding. I like Jacob's idea more. But at the end of the day, I'm glad that Smitty is doing something in his story to help, because it seems like the police department is just like, they're done with it. Everybody's kind of done with it. And Jacob is not okay with letting this go without finding out who the actual impaler is. So I'm interested to see how this actually works. Smitty is definitely getting grief from Martin because this story is taking up all of his time, and Martin thought that he would be there to help with this fundraising event. So it's definitely creating tension between them. Smitty even said that he's not going to stay at the fundraising event the whole time. He's going to come for photos and leave for work. That's messed up, Smitty. That's messed up. Okay. You need to go over there and play first man to your husband and give him the night. You can't take one night and not write. Like, I understand his job is serious. I'm a creative. I get it. No, you need to dedicate that night to Martin. That's the least you can do. I mean, gosh, Smitty has been very selfish lately. We are still in the dark about who the impaler is, but you know who isn't? Joey. He's been having this upcoming meeting with the impaler for a few weeks now, and this coming week, we're going to find out who it is. We ended the last episode with the impaler walking into Joey's casino for their meeting and him literally saying, you? So he knows who the impaler is. He knows who it is. So once again, Most of us think that it's his sister, Heather, who we have not met yet. So that would be interesting to see who has been cast as Heather and if she's really the impaler. If not, the majority of the streets is saying that it shouldn't be anyone new. It should be someone that we already know in Fairmont Crest. And I fully agree with that. Okay. I don't want a new storyline with this. All right. I want somebody to be dirty that we already know. Right. Uncover something. Don't give us something new to deal with. Let me know what y'all think. If it's, his sister or someone we fully don't know, what do y'all think? Now, of course, Vanessa is still trying to be queen pin. So when she overhears that Joey's meeting with the impaler, she tries to stay. Oh, I'll stay, why do I have to leave? We're a team. Girl, exactly. Which means you need to get up out of here. Because if one half of the team don't make it, then you got to be able to pick up the slack. Every queen pin knows that. Y'all both can't be in the line of fire. So yeah, he told Randy to take her back to his apartment and make sure she never leaves. Now, of course, Randy left some security with her and he came back because he want to make sure Joey's good or at least know what's going on. And I can't be mad at him with that. Him and Vanessa had a little moment about Doug, like, oh, you've always been there for Doug and I should have been nicer to you. And he's like, you're not going to use that on me. I'm leaving you here, like Joey said. So she's in the apartment and Joey is about to meet the impaler. And hopefully we do too, because I'm tired of guessing. The crossover episodes are officially here. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. This coming week, we get to see Victor Newman in Fairmont Crest. Okay, Victor Newman from one of the most famous soap operas of all time, The Young and the Restless, is coming to Fairmont Crest to be Martin's keynote speaker at his fundraising event to run for Congress, right? Victor was invited by Vernon. Come to find out, Victor was one of the main endorsers of Vernon when Vernon was first getting into politics. Of course, it was hard with Vernon trying to break into politics as a Black man, a man of color, right? At that time. And Victor definitely endorsed him. He said that him being an activist and being a little radical for the people is exactly what politics needed and ended up being the boost that Vernon needed to win his election and get into Senate, right? So they definitely have a long-standing relationship, and it's great for Martin to have him as a keynote speaker as well as one of his sponsors for his campaign. So I'm so excited to see this. It's going to be so good. We're getting other characters. Jack Abbott is going to be there. And a lot of mess is going down. Okay. Of course, it's going to be beautiful, but also a tornado is going to hit. A tornado is going to hit Fairmont Crest. Some people are going to be hurt. Okay. Now, there's a scene in the credits, in the what's coming for this coming week. Kat comes up to Ted and Ted says, there's blood on your hands. And she says, it's not my blood. Now, in that scene, Isaiah is standing behind her and we don't see Eva. If that's Eva's blood on Kat's hands, it's going to be a problem. And see, this is what I'm talking about. They've been talking about something big coming with Eva and Kat. Could it be that Eva gets messed up in this tornado and Kat has to give blood to save her, or even an organ or something for them to be like actually connected? Y'all let me know in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. But I'm so excited. Okay. This crossover with The Young and the Restless is going to be juicy, dramatic, and filled with craziness. And I just can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be so good. As you can see, we're definitely in for a wild ride this week, okay? We get to merge with Young and the Restless, and it is going down in Fairmont Crest, literally with that tornado that's about to hit. Hit me in the comments. Let me know how you feel about everything that I've talked about. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will meet you here every week. Oh, and by the way, I am also reviewing this season of Love Island USA. So if you are watching Love Island, make sure you're tuned in to my lives and my shorts because I will be talking about the mess that's going down in Fiji on that island. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you here next week. Beyond the Gates.